Corinth. Well, here we were again, reorganizing, and after the lax discipline on the road to and from Virginia, and after a big battle, which always disorganizes an army, is it any wonder some men had to be shot just to maintain discipline? And no wonder General Bragg's name became a terror to deserters and wrongdoers. Men were shot by the scores, and it was no surprise the army had to be restructured. Soldiers had enlisted for 12 months only, and they had faithfully fulfilled their duty. Their terms had expired, and they believed they had the right to go home. They had done what they signed up to do, and now they wanted to see their families. They just wanted to go home. War had become a reality, and they were tired of it. Around this time, the Confederate Congress passed a new law called the Conscript Act. From now on, a soldier had no right to volunteer or to choose the branch of service he preferred. He was simply conscripted, forced to serve. From this point until the end of the war, a soldier wasn't a volunteer. He was a machine, a conscript. It was rough on rebels. We cursed the war. We cursed Bragg. We cursed the Southern Confederacy. All our pride and valor had vanished. We were sick of it all. Then came another law. This one said that anyone who owned 20 enslaved people could go home, and that gave us the blues. We wanted 20 enslaved people too. Suddenly, enslaved property became very valuable, and there rose the bitter cry heard everywhere, a rich man's war and a poor man's fight. The glory of the war, the honor of the South, the pride of the volunteer, it meant nothing to the conscript. We were told to re-elect our officers, and the country was shocked by the outcome. But the conscript had no say. He didn't care who led him. He was indifferent, numb. Many of the original officers had resigned and gone home. Because they could. Because they were officers. The poor private, now a conscript, was left behind, howling and gnashing his teeth. The war might as well have ended then and there. The boys were done, beaten down, broken. Their one remaining ambition was to get out of the army by any means possible. They wanted to transfer to the cavalry, the artillery, the pioneer corps, anything to escape. Some would have been glad to become yellow dogs. Their last hope had died. They hated the war. They saw the South not as a homeland, but as a tyrant. And the Confederacy? A fraud. They deserted by the thousands. No one loved Bragg. When a man was to be shot or whipped, the whole army was marched out to watch it happen. We'd see some poor, trembling soul tied to a post, while a squad of 12 men stood in a line before him. Then the hushed command, "Ready, aim, fire." It made every man watching loathe the name of the Southern Confederacy, and when someone was to be whipped and branded for being gone without leave, just 10 days, we had to watch him kneel down, have his head shaved slick as an onion, stripped to his skin, and whipped with a rawhide until blood sprayed with every lash. He'd howl and beg like a dog. Then came the branding. Red-hot iron pressed to both hips, burning in the letter Deed. Finally, he was marched through the ranks to the sound of the Rogue's March. That was enough. No soldier in General Bragg's army ever loved him. None had faith in his ability. To us, he was nothing but a merciless tyrant. We were poorly fed. Bragg was no commissary general. Rations were scarce. No coffee, no whiskey, no tobacco. If any man had those luxuries, he got them some other way. The government provided nothing. Maybe it was done on purpose, to break our spirit. And it worked. Bragg was the great autocrat. His word was law. He seemed to take pleasure in crushing men's morale. The more broken a soldier looked, the more satisfied Bragg seemed to be. No one respected him. Not one. But he is dead now. Peace to his ashes. We had become walking skeletons, starved, naked, ragged rebels. Chronic diarrhea swept through the camp. Corinth became one vast hospital. Every morning, nearly the entire army reported for sick call. The streams dried up. We drank from muddy pools. Halleck was advancing, and we were ordered to fortify Corinth. Grant, Buell, Halleck, Sherman, they were all closing in. But we weren't fit to fight. We had seen enough of this tragic farce. We were ready to ring down the curtain, snuff the footlights, and go home. Most of us had always loved the Union anyway. We'd never wanted this war, but we didn't dare say it aloud, not louder than a whisper. The name Bragg carried more terror than the entire host of Halleck's bluecoats. Shot and shell tore through our lines now and then. A man was wounded. A man was killed. And we thought, what magnificent, hopeless folly. Death felt welcome. Halleck's army didn't frighten us anymore. When we were lined up for battle, 1/10 of our own army was ordered to stand behind us, to shoot anyone who tried to run. No pack of hunting dogs under a master's whip, no chain gang of convicts was ever watched more closely than we were. We were 10 times worse off than slaves. Our morale was gone. The glory of war and the pride of manhood had been sacrificed on Bragg's altar. But enough of this. Rowland shot to death. One morning, I walked over to visit the 23rd Tennessee Regiment. I went to see Captain Gray Armstrong and Colonel Jim Neal, both old friends from before the war, and both glad to see me. While I was at Colonel Neal's tent, I saw a detail of soldiers bringing out a man named Rowland. He was about to be executed, shot by a firing squad for desertion by order of a court-martial. I learned he had served out the full term of his original enlistment, left our army, and joined the Yankees. He was captured later at the Battle of Shiloh, along with General Prentice's brigade. Now he was to die for it. He sat in a wagon on top of an old ammunition box, the very one that would serve as his coffin. They hauled him to the execution site. When they reached the grave, dug the day before, they found water had collected in the bottom. A soldier was bailing it out. Rowland looked over and said, "Please hand me a drink of that water. I want a drink from my own grave, so the boys will talk about it when I'm gone and remember Rowland." They handed him the bucket, and he drank every drop. Then, giving it back, he said, "Could I have a little more? I've heard water is scarce in hell, and this might be the last I ever get." He was taken to the death post, and that's when he really started to act out. He cursed General Bragg, cursed Jefferson Davis, cursed the Southern Confederacy, and cursed every rebel around. He was arrogant, proud, insulting, and frankly, I felt like he deserved what was coming. He said he would show us how a Union man could die. I don't remember everything he said, but it was clear he meant every word of it. When the firing squad arrived, he walked to the post on his own. He knelt without being ordered. The captain in charge gave the command, "Ready, aim, fire." And Rowland fell to his side. That was the last of Rowland. That concludes the 5th part of the story. Thank you very much for listening. Please subscribe for more episodes and leave a comment